Oh, it is not Martha Zoller. It is Dr. Tom Smiley with you today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, unless the proverbial hook comes in. Avery, please lock and shut and barricade that door, please, and we'll disallow management from crashing in. By the way, to management, may I just mention, the star on my parking space has fallen off. Please get that fixed immediately. Also, there are or there is, I'm not sure, there are or there is no oatmeal cream cookie cakes in the snack room. And my doctor told me to eat more oatmeal. So I need for my health to have more oatmeal. So please get those Little Debbie cream cakes there in the snack room as soon as possible so I can be more healthy. And some peanut M&Ms would be good too. So just a couple of housekeeping chores in that regard. So get my star fixed, and let's get this live feed up so people can see the props I've brought in today. I've got 3 props that will fit in with 3 of the particular stories that I want to bring to you today. All right, we've got lots to do. I'm telling you, lots to do. My wife recently is on the way back from state tennis tournament, and she won 3 out of her 4 matches with her wonderful partners. So I have been home by myself, and I've just had time to prepare. So I've got lots of stuff for today, tomorrow, and Wednesday as I fill in for Martha Zoller. I'm going to talk for the first half hour about the hostage situation. I'm very excited, very appreciative. I've been praying for that, as many of you have, but I have a little different take on it. Not a different take, but I have some more information to share. But I just, let's say, a different perspective. That's because I think we're missing a little of a perspective with all the jubilee and all the celebration. There's a perspective I think we're missing. Not to be a Debbie Downer, but there is a perspective I think we're missing. So we want to get to that today as well. But before we do anything else, I've asked the children from Miss Gabrielle's class in Banks County to come in and give us a rendition of the pledge. Take it away, children.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, children, so very much. Thank you for that. All right, now let me get on with it because we're going to take a break here in 3 or 4 minutes, and then I'm going to go back into this conversation some more. The hostages, right? Released today. Very, very excited. We've all been praying for that. How did we get here? How did we get here?
The 20 men were handed over to the International Red Cross in 2 separate groups before being transferred to the Israeli military, back home after more than 2 years of detention in a war zone. They returned to Israel as heroes. Friends and families have gathered to hear the news of their loved ones' freedom. There were huge cheers in Tel Aviv's Hostage Square when the news broke. The bodies of 28 hostages who died are still to be handed over. Israel has begun the process of releasing nearly 2,000 prisoners and detainees in return. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
All right, so here we go. How did we get here? We got here because the Hamas cowards, the Hamas barbarians, the Hamas hateful men, whatever name you want to put on them, invaded Israel, and the result was 1,200 people. 1,200 people were killed or murdered. 1,200. And others were taken hostage, 251. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me explain something to you. I'm happy that they are home, the 20-something that still remained alive. And I'm grateful for the dead bodies. Why would you keep dead bodies around? That shows you something of their barbaricism. Is that a word? I hope it is. But let me tell you something. We have little idea as to what these people actually have endured. It cannot be described. I have 2 stories I want to share with you. And I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but I'm very happy, and I celebrate the fact that they're home. I'm grateful that they're home. I'm sure their families know they're home. But these hostages released today and others who've been released, they have faced enormous psychological and physical abuse. Physical abuse. The women unbelievable abuse. These Hamas people are animals, and the civilians that stood around and watched it and participated with it are animals as well. This is why I have said for 2 years now, there are no civilian casualties. There are no civilian casualties. Those people sat there and watched, observed, and participated in Hamas's destruction of innocent lives, children, babies, women, elderly. Now, and if you don't believe it, I challenge you to stay with me in these two stories because I'll prove it to you. I'll prove it to you. I'm very upset about this because I hear, why in the world on our college campuses in some of our major cities do we see these people waving these Hamas flags, these Gaza Strip Palestinian flags? Do they not know what these hostages endured by these animals, these terrorists, these barbarians? They have no right to live among civilians, among civilized people. And Hamas should have no entrance into what might be new in that area. They should be completely banned. They should be put on an island somewhere and just placed there by themselves. And they will end up probably killing themselves because they can't get along with anyone, including themselves. I mean, these people are barbaric. They are completely animals. And if you don't believe it, just hang on for just a moment because I'll share with you some very heart-wrenching stories. I'm not trying to put a damper on the celebration. We all ought to be happy and excited they're home. But ladies and gentlemen, exactly 2 years ago this month, these terrorists stormed the Israeli border from Gaza, killing young families living on a small little farming communities, hunting down young people attending an outdoor music festival that was, by the way, promoting peace. These attackers killed more than 1,200 Israelis. They took over 250 hostages. When responders came in that first day, they found kitchen floors stained with blood. People's homes were destroyed, bullet-riddled. Militants stormed the homes of these young families. They found bodies executed, hands tied behind their backs, mothers holding their small children, dead, bodies decapitated. Pure horror. That's what they found. That's what these people did. That's who these people are. And we're negotiating with them? I'm telling you, these people have no right to live in a civilized world. And as far as these, quote, civilians, I mean, I want you to listen to this one story. I'll tell you, we'll take a quick break. Got to do this, got to pay the bills. But I want you to come back. I have about a 1.5, 2 minute video, audio, that you can hear for yourself the testimony of one of these survivors describing for you what it was like living under captivity by these animals. And then you can decide if I'm being too harsh today. And by the way, it does aggravate me to no end all that Israel has had to give up. I mean, they get, 26 live people back and 14 or 15 or 20 or whatever dead bodies back, and they give up over almost 300 terrorists and convicted murderers and thieves and thugs. But that's for another story. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. I have this audio for you, and then one more audio piece in this segment that talks specifically about, and I know this is hard to hear. I realize this is hard to hear on such a celebrative day, and I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but this is a perspective we cannot lose. And I think I'm the only one who's presenting it to you, at least as far as what I'm hearing from other outlets. Nobody else is talking about this, but Tom Smiley's going to talk about it because it needs to be recognized. It needs to be heard. These are animals, and you must remember what these animals did, and we must prevent it from ever happening again.
In North Georgia,
It's the topics that matter to me.
we're your eyes and ears in the community with the latest breaking news.
It's the most important thing we face.
AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN. Always here, always local.
Talking with Haley from Clipper Stores, and of course, Clippers puts the C in convenience. And I'll tell you, one of the biggest things you've done is that drive-through. It's fantastic.
Yes, you can pull through the Clipper drive-thru and literally get anything you want from inside, Bill.
I know
It's
when I'm
great.
on the road with the dog, I like to whip through the one in Claremont and say, I need a Dr. Pepper and some peanut M&Ms, and boom, right there.
And Dino can get a little treat too. You got to get the little pup cup for him.
Clipper, never fly solo.
What if my surviving children are in the middle of a divorce? Can I see to it in advance that my assets go to them and only them? This is Kevin Tharp, elder law and estate planning attorney, and the answer is yes. There are steps that you need to take now in order to ensure that your assets go where you want them to go. It's up to you, however, to make the first call. Visit my website at kevintharp.com and learn how to get help planning for your family's future.
You wouldn't want someone you couldn't trust working on your family's HVAC and plumbing, so why would you call anyone but Gainesville Mechanical? They're your local, most trusted and award-winning HVAC and plumbing company in North Georgia. From maintenance appointments and clogged drains to plumbing emergencies and new system installations, their team is ready to serve you. And with their customer assurance maintenance plan, you can receive discounts, priority scheduling, and 24/7 no overtime rates. Gainesville Mechanical and Bryant, doing whatever it takes since 1989.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion? That's billion with a B? Yeah. Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250, micro.
eBay has reinvented vehicle buying. From click to curb, everything's covered. Ever try to buy a car online and end up in a parking lot with a stranger and some blind trust? That era is over. Now with Secure Purchase, eBay isn't just where you find your car. It's where you buy it, start to finish. Title, financing, registration, delivery, it's all built in. This is the modern way to buy your next ride on eBay. eBay. Things people love. Secure Purchase is powered by Caramel Dealer Services, LLC, an eBay subsidiary.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet Newsroom, 3 commuters are injured, 2 seriously from a wreck on Georgia 400 in Forsyth County Saturday. Details at Access WDUN. And coming up on North Georgia's News Talk.
It's the Martha Zoller Show, presented by Gainesville Mechanical. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Tom Smiley with you on the Martha Zoller Show, and I'm very happy to be with you today. It's a good day. I mean, we have the hostages released, and that's good. And I'm hopeful that the remainder of the peace plan will go into effect. It's going to be a very difficult thing. It's very unlikely, in my opinion, that Hamas are going to totally disarm. I'm just very suspect. Very suspect. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here, but these people, that's all they've known is war and killing and brutalizing, and that's all they've known. That's all they've known. And to think they're going to put down their arms and build, mega hotel towers and start working at golf courses and hotels and restaurants is just not reasonable. I hope so. I mean, it'd be great. But these people are terrorists by nature. They're hateful, ugly men and women. And the civilians have to turn around too, because they're about as bad. To sit here and watch what many of these people endured and participate. And if you don't believe it, just listen to the eyewitness testimony of some of these people. Here's some audio from an actual survivor. Now, this is too long to play its entirety. It's about 9 minutes. So I'm just going to play a couple of minutes. You'll get the gist of this particular survivor talking about what she experienced, she and her husband. His name was Keith. and what they experienced in their captivity.
It's been a hard day, that yesterday I was thinking about, okay, tomorrow's going to be the 7th, but I'm going to be okay. I'm strong. I know how to handle things. But I was broken. I was really broken. I did a couple of interviews and I cried. And it's been a very hard day for me because I come from a community that 64 people that I know, most of them were murdered. There's quite a few mothers left with babies without a husband, and older people that I know for many, many years. My kids' best friends, my friends, kids' friends. So it's been a very emotional day. And then I try to remind myself that I'm alive, because I could have been dead with kids so many times. The first time was on the 7th. When they came in to kidnap us, they shot us. And one of the bullets hit Keith. And it didn't hit me because I was lucky, but it could have been different. And we were taken underneath the ground and we just didn't have any air to breathe. And I really felt that it's going to be my last hours of my life, and touched death. Said goodbye to my family, said goodbye to Keith, and felt that I'm going to die. And the only thing I prayed for all the time, that I die before Keith, because I knew that if anything happens to Keith, it's going to finish me. So I'm lucky. I'm lucky to be sitting here. I'm lucky to have my husband back after 484 days with me. And I'm lucky that the girls that were with us came back on the deal with Keith when Keith came back. But we've still got 2 hostages from our community, Gali and Zivi. They're twins. And I know them since they've been born. I know their family. I'm broken up into pieces for them, for their family, for what they're going through. It's very difficult.
So that's just part of her testimony. She goes on in this clip to say that she remembers arriving in Gaza. Now, these are her words. This is why I'm listen, ladies and gentlemen, please listen to what I'm saying. I am thankful, I am happy, I am grateful, I am celebrating that the hostages are home and those deceased are back so they can be buried properly. I'm very grateful, very happy. But I'm giving you a perspective today that you're not going to hear anywhere else today, because it needs to be heard. And this lady's perspective is very important. She says she remembers arriving in Gaza and seeing Palestinian families cheering and jeering the wounded hostages. Yes, that's right, these so-called innocent civilians. Cheering and jeering. According to her testimony, as you listen to her words, they were aware of the hostages' arrival. She said, everyone was waiting for us. They knew we were coming, and we were taken immediately underground. She said her husband, Keith, was kept in solitary confinement for 6 months. And this is what disturbs me so much. We hear this type of torture and ugliness and persecution. And then we have college students on our campuses in this country waving Hamas flags and Palestinian flags and standing up for Gaza and chanting from the sea to the sea, or whatever it is they chant, and all this anti-Israel stuff. Do they not know? Do they not care? This lady said she was moved 13 times in 51 days. No one helped her. We have reports of some hostages actually escaping into the countryside and being returned by civilians. That's right. Remember those innocent civilians. In her testimony, she goes on to talk about how for 484 days she was tortured, starved. They ate in front of her. Now, this is a part that if you have children listening, you may want to ask them to go into the other room. But I'm going to read this to you. She said, I am a witness to Hamas terrorists touching the girls and doing whatever they wanted. I am a witness of Hamas terrorists beating one of the girls that was with us and threatening her because they thought she was lying. For me, it was like I was killed. For me, not able to help them, to help my husband as he was being tortured. And as I was tortured, I was pulled by my hair. I was pushed. I was starved. I was laughed at. I was threatened. I went to hell. Now, I'm very happy the hostages are home. I am very thankful for that, and I hope the peace plan works. But I'm going to tell you right now, Hamas has no privilege or right to be involved in anything to do with Gaza. And if they don't completely honor this agreement, then Israel needs to go in there and completely obliterate the place. It won't take much because it nearly already is. Completely obliterated. Now, we see that Hamas, you may be wondering, well, Tom, why is Hamas finally coming to the table? Well, we're getting some anecdotal evidence about that. By the way, we'll take a break here in just a moment. I have another story I've got to tell you before we move on. And I'll move on because I have stacks of stories and commentary. But I've got to go one more story because it's very important for today's cultural information. One more story about these hostages. And I'll come back and I'll share that with you. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Call a friend. Don't miss it. All right, you're listening to Tom Smiley on the Martha Zoller Show. I am fired up. I am bothered. We'll be right back.
That's a good question, Annie. I'm Cody Lovin with Crawl Space Medic. Musty smells, dampness, and sagging insulation means your crawl space or basement might need some attention. Our team quickly finds and fixes moisture problems, updates moisture barriers, and resolves structural issues, ensuring your home stays dry and comfortable. Don't let your crawl space problems affect your comfort, air quality, or property value. Visit crawlspacemedic.com.
A healthy home starts from the ground up.
Hi folks, Matt Hayes here from Hayes of Baldwin. If you're in the market for a new car, truck, or SUV, take a short drive and come see what North Georgia has to offer. We have 8 brands in one location. A great selection of pre-owned and manufacturer certified pre-owned vehicles. But that's not all. With 2 large service departments to take care of all your automotive needs, from maintenance, repairs, or just tires and checkups. Hayes offers friendly staff and excellent customer service. With over 50 years of a family-owned and operated business in North Georgia, come see what Hayes has to offer you. Hayes of Baldwin, just 3 miles north of Hall County on Highway 365.
Nobody wants to talk about septic services until there's a problem.
We're here to help. At SNS Septic, we are here 24 hours a day to help when you need us.
As a 4th-generation business, we know that SNS Septic is the one to call for pumping, repairs, installations, and more. We cover residential, commercial, and government projects. If you have septic or plumbing problems, call us.
That's right. You can find us on the web at septicga.com.
Call SNS Septic today to set up an inspection of your system and have everything taken care of before it all hits the fan.
Tune in to 2 hours of local football fun with the Pick'em Show, coach interviews, game previews, and general mayhem. So join Bo, Caleb, Jeff, and Walker Thursday nights at 6 on AM 550 and FM 102.9, or video stream them on YouTube at Access WDUN Sports. WDUN Gainesville, WDUN FM Clarksville, Gainesville. Always here, always local.
It's 9:30.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Therese Crowley. President Trump declares an end to the age of terror and death in the Middle East with the release of the final 20 Israel hostages.
Today, the skies are calm, the guns are silent, the sirens are still, and the sun rises on a holy land that is finally at peace.
In a historic address before Israel's Knesset, to maybe the longest applause of his life, Israel has begun releasing some 2,000 Palestinian prisoners. The president praising Arab unity to get it done.
All of the nations of the Arab and Muslim world that came together to press Hamas to set the hostages free and to send them home. We had a lot of help. We had a lot of help from a lot of people that you wouldn't suspect.
But now the question, will they lay down their arms as President Trump heads to Egypt for the formal ceasefire signing? America is listening to Fox News.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet Newsroom, I'm Steve Winslow, and 60 apartment complex residents are seeking shelter following a building fire early Sunday in Gwinnett County. WDUN's Logan Landers reports.
Fire and emergency crews for Gwinnett County responded to a report of an apartment fire after 2:45 a.m. at the 1700 block of Graves Road in Norcross. Officials say the 911 caller advised them that flames were coming from the top floor of an apartment's balcony. Cause for the fire has not been determined, but officials say there was extensive damage throughout the third floor of the structure, with heavy smoke and water damage throughout lower floors.
No injuries were reported. After inspecting hundreds of devices for card skimmers last week, a local law enforcement agency has found none. Good news there, and WDUN's William Daughtry explains.
The Barrow County Sheriff's Office and the U.S. Secret Service conducted the search across the county this past week. Card skimmers are used to steal card information. It's estimated that skimming costs financial institutions and consumers more than $1 billion each year. According to the Sheriff's Office, they conducted the search last Monday. They visited 76 businesses and examined nearly 700 terminals.
And according to the City of Cleveland, a water line break may interrupt water services on Campbell Street through Tuesday. The affected area runs between Head Street to Keitel Street as the water sample is being sent out later today. Details at Access WDUN. Now, here's your Access WDUN forecast.
A great Monday morning, North Georgia. Will continue with mostly sunny skies, and that means lots of sun glare. Upper 70s for highs this afternoon for your planning purposes. From the Access WDUN Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Holly Strano.
In Cleveland, 59 degrees, Talmo 62, and in Gainesville, 61. From North Georgia's News Talk, AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
There's nothing like cool, crisp air of fall in North Georgia after a hot, humid summer. Conditioned Air Systems is here to get your HVAC system ready for the changing seasons. With regular maintenance that saves you money on your energy bill, and look no further for quick, reliable plumbing repairs or installation services. Conditioned Air Systems has been a trusted name in Northeast Georgia for over 45 years. Call us today at 1-800-AC-REPAIR.
Usher in the change of season with Songs of Thanksgiving as Grace Worldwide presents Ernie Haas and Signature Sound. Join your friends at First Baptist Gainesville for an evening of gospel, patriotic, and Christmas music Sunday, November 23rd at 5. Doors open at 4, so come early for the pre-show performance of Sounds of Jericho. Tickets available at erniehaas.com/tour or call 678-617-5527. Don't miss Ernie Haas Sunday, November 23rd at First Baptist Church, Gainesville.
Use the Access WDUN Talk and Text line, presented by M&R Rental at 770-535-2911, and be part of the conversation. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville, it's the Martha Zoller Show on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
All right, I'm back with you, and I'm on the Martha Zoller Show. Tom Smiley filling in for Martha, and I'm looking at the live feed. You can go to YouTube, click on, type in the search bar Access WDUN. Scroll down a little bit. You can click on that little camera-looking thing, and you'll see the live feed. I think there's about almost 1,000 people subscribing to the live feed. See what I have as my props today. I have 3 props. They're beautiful hats. You can see them there. And there's all a purpose of the hat. There's a red hat, there's a Make America Great hat, there's a Duke hat, and there's a police hat. And there's a purpose for all 3 of those. They're connected to some stories I'll be sharing today, so don't miss it. Let me get back to the hostage situation, then we'll move on. I have lots of other stories. But I just don't want us to lose perspective. Make no mistake about it, I'm very, very happy about the hostages being released. I think President Trump has done a tremendous job. Obviously, he should get the Nobel Peace Prize. He probably won't. I don't care if he does. He shouldn't care if he does or doesn't. It doesn't matter. That award doesn't mean anything anyway because of who they give it to, right? I mean, it just doesn't matter because they've watered it down so it doesn't mean anything. And he shouldn't even care. He shouldn't even talk about it anymore. Just forget it. He should take He should take solace in the fact that he's done what he's done, and he's done it well. He's got a good team around him. So forget the Nobel Peace Prize talk. Just forget that. It doesn't mean anything. Let me get back to the story about the hostages, and we'll move on. I have lots of other stories. I mean, I've just got so much for the next 3 days. But I want to get back to the hostages because I know there's a celebrative aspect. Everyone's happy. I'm happy. You should be happy. You know, the Democrats should be happy, but they're not. The only Democrat I've heard from is Fetterman. Maybe I have heard from Taliba. I haven't heard from AOC. Haven't heard from the Somalia person. I haven't heard from any of those Democrats banging drums and banging pots and pans in front of the White House demanding, free Palestine, free Palestine. And now it's free and they haven't said nothing. A bunch of hypocrites. They weren't really about Palestine. You know that, right? They weren't really about freeing Palestine, freeing Gaza. They were really about hating Trump. That's what it was about. Just be honest. Even you Democrats out there listening to me, be honest. That's what it's about. Trump derangement syndrome. You hate Trump so bad. You hate him. So I'm giving you a different perspective. Even though I'm happy and I'm celebrative about these hostages, let me tell you, how we got here was Hamas invaded Israel 2 years ago and killed 1,200 Israelis and took over 250 hostages and murdered and killed and robbed and raped and tortured them. And I just shared with you audio of a actual hostage in her testimony, which is heart-rending. When you hear these people weren't put up at the Ritz-Carlton for 2 years. And now I come across this audio from a doctor who has examined and treated these hostages as they've been released. And the doctor basically says, you know what? We're having to rewrite the textbooks regarding post-trauma. We've never seen anything like this before. We've never seen hostages in such terrible mental condition. Sure, they're smiling on the outside, but their inside is all messed up. They've had severe physical and mental abuse. The stories coming out that we're having to hear from these hostages are just awful. And that's not even a word capable to describe what these people have experienced. Do you understand that? And yet on our college campuses, we have college students and professors waving Hamas flags and Palestinian flags and, chanting from the sea to the ocean, whatever the heck the crap is they're chanting. And we have representatives in Congress talking about anti-Israel slogans. They have no idea. Or maybe they do and don't care. I'd like to see some of the women in Congress who are so pro-Palestine, so pro-Hamas, go over there for a few weeks and see how they like the treatment they receive as women. Women are cattle over there. Women are property. It's evident by how they treated women hostages. No respect. It is unprecedented, the suffering of these hostages. They look happy, they look fine, they look physically fine. But even though they look fine, they're suffering, according to the doctors, from severe post-traumatic symptoms. I want you to listen to this doctor. It's just about 2.5 minutes. Again, make no mistake, I am very, very pleased, very happy, very thankful for President Trump. He's put together a great team. They've done a wonderful job. I'm glad they're home, but I'm giving you a perspective today you're not going to hear anywhere else because I'm keeping the focus on these animals, these terrorists, these barbarians. They have no right to live in a free, civilized world. They need to be banished, if not destroyed. They have voided their right to live among civilized people. You cannot negotiate with them. Listen to what this doctor has to say about what these hostages have endured.
But how do we balance the joy that some hostages have been released with the reality that it was barbaric to take them in the first place? How do we temper the good news of freedom for some while remembering many are still in captivity? What is the psychology of victimhood? How do you see depravity up close and personal and not be forever marred by it? How do you rejoice in the safety of a 4-year-old child without forgetting who made her an orphan in the first place? Joining us now is Dr. Renana Eitan, who is treating freed hostages at the Tel Aviv Medical Center. Welcome, doctor. Thank you for being here. There are physical needs and there are emotional, psychological needs that might be very difficult to see. So how do you find those kinds of injuries?
Hi, so thank you for your kind invitation, and it's very encouraging to know that you're interested in what is happening now in Israel. We have been treating over 15 patients who came back from the Hamas captivity at the Tel Aviv Medical Center. And I can tell you that on behalf of all the medical and psychological teams treating those who returned, the mental states we encounter have no precedent in medical literature. We feel that we have to rewrite the textbooks of post-trauma. You have to remember that as far as we know, the Red Cross has not visited nor assisted those who were held captive. And there is evidence of severe physical and mental abuse. Those held captive were subject to starvation, to beating, to sexual abuse. They were being held in inhumane sanitary conditions. Extremely severe psychological abuse was inflicted on them, including separation from family members, separation of siblings, separations of children from their mothers. They were held in solitary confinement and spent long days in total darkness until they developed severe hallucinations. Children were forced to watch brutal videos. They were under constant threats by weapons and threats to harm them even after they were released. They report the forced use of psychiatric drugs and other substances.
Well, there you go. There you go. I mean, I don't know how can it be said any differently? Trey Gowdy said it best setting it up when he set up that video for us. How do we balance this celebrative, happy time of the hostages being released at the same time knowing the barbaric conditions they experience and all that they suffered? I mean, those that were held captive, they were subjected to starvation, beatings, sexual abuse. They were held in inhumane sanitary conditions, extreme, severe psychological abuse, including separation from their families. Even the little children kidnapped. Why didn't they just leave the little children there in the first place? Why did they take the little children? Separating them from their brothers and sisters and their mothers and their fathers. And then making the children watch, forcing them to watch brutal videos. I'm telling you, these people are animals. Just pure animals. 770-535-2911 if you want to agree or disagree with me. It doesn't matter to me one way or the other. I know what I'm saying to you is correct. I don't mean to throw cold water on your celebration today, but this perspective needs to be observed. You need to understand this perspective. I have a very short fuse today. I really do, because I don't see how anyone can sit here and recognize how these humans were treated by these barbarians, by these thugs, by these. And I sure hope to goodness no one calls up here and even refers to these terrorists and barbarians as any form of freedom fighters, because they are nothing but barbaric. Don't come up here with that. Well, if you want to talk more about that, you can. I'm done with it today. I'm happy, celebrative, but at the same time, I wanted to give you a brief perspective on what these people experienced. All right, we've got a lot of stories coming up your way. Fetterman, the only Democrat that had anything decent to say for President Trump's efforts. We've got company after company leaving Chicago because of the doofuses they've got there running the place. We've got California looking like it's a shifting state because of the crime and the crisis going on there. There's a new poll out I want to share with you with some audio about Madami and how his lead is actually shrinking. And then have you heard about this? The Supreme Court is going to be listening to some arguments regarding conversion therapy. If you don't know anything about that, that's some laws that are trying to be passed, and some have already been passed, that prohibit Christian counselors, faith-related counselors, from talking to teens and others about their gender confusion from a biblical perspective. That's been outlawed in many states. No, you can't talk about it. You can't even talk about it because it might confuse them. They're already confused. And then there's a great story I want to share with you, some audio about a Minnesota softball player, a teenager, who was just heartbroken because her dreams were crushed because a boy was allowed to play in the state tournament, a boy who pitched. It's awful. We'll share those stories and others. If you want to call me, you can, 770-535-2911. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Tom Smiley on The Martha Zoller Show.
Next week on The Martha Zoller Show, Tom Smiley is filling in for me, and he'll have some great guests. You don't want to miss a minute. Join him at 9 on North Georgia's News Talk, WDUN.
This is Mike Martin from Milton Martin Toyota. A life of addiction leaves a path of destruction, not only for the individual, but for the family. No Longer Bound is a 10-month long-term addiction and recovery program for males age 18 and up that focuses on regenerating the person and rebuilding relationships. No Longer Bound has one of the highest success rates in the country because their focus is not only on eternal freedom from bondage of drug and alcohol, but from the hurt and pain that caused the addiction. Consider donating your car to No Longer Bound's Cars for Recovery. When you do, you're sowing a seed of hope into the lives of men on the road to recovery. Plus, your tax-deductible donation supplies transportation for those in need as well as funds for No Longer Bound's regeneration program. So call No Longer Bound today at 770-886-7873 or visit their website at nolongerbound.com.
Whether it's a slip that ends in a slip disc, a trick knee that's holding you back, or shoulder pain hurting your game, you can count on Northside Hospital Orthopedics. With leading care in Georgia at convenient locations all across the state, we are here to get you back on your feet, no matter what comes your way. Because Georgia moves us, and we keep Georgia moving. Find a provider near you at northside.com/ortho. That's northside.com/ORTHO.
The weather has changed, and here come the leaves. Get ahead of the work with Stihl's backpack and handheld blowers. They make the fall cleanup quick. If you need a handheld blower with those small spaces, a backpack blower for bigger jobs, or a powerful professional model to really make those leaves fly, Stihl's got it all. Find your next Stihl product at Howard Brothers. Their friendly team can help find the perfect Stihl blower to keep those pesky leaves out of your way. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Stihl and Howard Brothers.
It's bad enough you get wet when your roof leaks, so don't get soaked when it comes to getting it repaired. This is Chris Earls at Georgia Select Roofing, where we have outstanding Google reviews and an A+ BBB rating, because we know roofing and customer service. If it's a new roof, a roof repair, or gutters and downspouts, estimates are free and we offer financing. See us online at georgiaselectroofing.com or call me at 678-316-6899. At Georgia Select Roofing, we have you covered.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet newsroom, 60 residents of a Gwinnett County complex are displaced from an extensively damaging fire Sunday morning. Details at Access WDUN. And coming up on North Georgia's News Talk.
It's the Martha Zoller Show, presented by Gainesville Mechanical. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Welcome back to the Martha Zoller Show. Tom Smiley filling in for Martha today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, 770-535-2911. If you're watching on the live feed, go to YouTube, type in Access WDUN, and scroll down just a tad. You'll come to a little camera box or something. Click on that. And if you do, you'll notice I have some props today. I have 3 hats, and they all have something to do with programming today. I have a Magna hat, I have a police hat, my chaplaincy hat, and another hat. And you can look at that, and there's a story connected to each of those hats we'll get to today. 770-535-2911. Let's catch a phone call real quick. Ed in Brazelton, welcome to the show.
Hi, Tom.
Hello, Ed.
Well, I just want to say, man, it's terrible what happened to the Israeli hostages, but we have to also remember what happened to the Palestinians. I mean, they've been going through a psychological trauma since 1948. When you look at what's happened to Palestine since 1948, including this recent genocide the Israeli military committed.
No, we don't.
I mean, you just
No, we don't.
one-sided.
No, we don't.
You're being one-sided on the issue.
No, we're not.
You know?
No, we're not. No, Ed, you're wrong.
What do you mean? No, we're
You're
all
wrong.
humans. We're all human beings, man. You cannot take one side over the other.
No. Look, when you live next door to a country and your only purpose is to destroy that country, then the country you seek to destroy has every right to protect themselves and to obliterate you, Ed. That's the fact.
So you're justifying bombing hospitals and school full of children. Are you justifying that, sir? Is that what you're telling me right now?
If you allow machinery, bombs, attacks from those places, you know what? War, what Roosevelt say, is war. Is war, Ed.
Okay.
It's
so
war.
Let me ask you this, man. You're telling me every building in Gaza were hiding Hamas terrorists? Because every building in Gaza has been pummeled.
Every
so you're telling
building.
me every single one of those buildings was hiding a Hamas terrorist. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm telling you, every building was open game because of the way they executed their attack on Israel, Ed. There's no doubt about it. Ed, look, listen, we have reports that the hostages, some of them escaped, and your innocent civilians captured them and turned them back into the terrorist hostage holders. Ed,
I understand,
get alive here, man.
Tom, yes, I understand that some hostages escaped and they were killed by the IDF. There were
No.
hostages killed
You
by
didn't
the
answer
IDF
my question. I'm saying, do you not know that hostages escaped to the countryside, had freedom in the grasp, and your innocent civilians captured them and took them back to the tunnels of the terrorists?
Like you said, it's a war.
Okay,
You
there you
what?
go.
You know what, Tom?
There you go.
Let me explain something to you. How come we didn't see yellow ribbons all over the United States, even though American citizens were kidnapped by Hamas? Because America knows that this issue is more complicated. All right? It's more complicated than you make it seem. That's why during the Iranian hostage crisis, I remember in 1979, America was praying every day. We had yellow ribbons in every single neighborhood. All right. But during this particular situation in Gaza, I didn't see one yellow ribbon in my neighborhood or anywhere else I went because America know that this situation is not as simple as you portray it, sir.
No. The reason is because we have become a woke community in many of those places now, and you have professors and students in these woke colleges and on these campuses where there would have been yellow ribbons, but these college kids, Ed, they're all been brainwashed. Look, why in the world?
And you know what?
Why in the world, Ed, would our college kids be chanting anti-Israel and pro-Hamas slogans on college campuses when hostages are being treated like this, when women are being raped and brutalized, when children are being brutalized and killed? Ed, why in the world would people be shouting that? Tell me why.
And so okay. I'm gonna answer your question.
No, tell me why.
You're telling me Marjorie Taylor Greene is woke? You're telling me Tucker Carlson is woke? You're telling me Congressman Matt Gaetz is woke? You're telling me, man, come on, man.
I'm not
Nick
talking
Fuentes
about
is
any of
woke?
those people. I'm talking
You
about
have
the
both
hostage
parties
takers.
criticizing. What I'm telling you is you're claiming it's only happening on the Democrat side. It's only happening with people that are woke. But criticism is coming from the right.
I've not
Criticism
seen
about
any.
Israel is coming from the right and the left.
I've not seen any
People
of the
are finally
people.
waking up to what's going on in Israel, man. It's not people have been supporting Israel for decades. It's just now that we're waking up to OPEC. We're waking up to what the Israelis have gotten this country into over the years, and American people are tired of it. They're tired of it, man.
Thank you, Ed. Appreciate your call. You're listening to the Martha Zoller Show, 770-535-2911. Appreciate your opinion. If you have one, you can give me a call as well. Not moving an inch When you have a country living next door who, since their existence, has been attacked and brutalized and threatened by people living next door, they have a right to defend themselves, period. And all Hamas had to do to end this war 2 years ago, to keep their towns and cities from being destroyed, obliterated, was to quit fighting. That's all they had to do. That's all they had to do. If they didn't want all of their buildings obliterated, if they didn't want their hospitals destroyed and all their other city buildings, they just don't put missiles inside hospitals. Don't put bombs inside children's houses. Don't put missiles in places they shouldn't go. Quit fighting. Start building. Don't build tunnels. Quit fighting. Quit fighting. That's all. I don't buy it for 1 millimeter of a second. Hate Israel if you want to. That's your prerogative. If you want to hate Israel, go ahead and hate. You can hate anybody you want to hate. If you want to be a hater, be a hater. I'm saying I believe that people have the right to defend themselves. And Golden My Ear said it right. She said it correctly, ladies and gentlemen. She said, there'll never be peace there until listen to this, until the Arab mothers start loving their children more than they hate Israel's children. And that's a fact. We'll be right back. You're listening to Tom Smiley on The Martha Zoller Show.
Hey folks, Todd Starnes here. When it comes to keeping pests out of your home, Mark Turner at Select Pest Control has it figured out. As the name implies, you get to select whether you want their professional team to take care of those pesky pests, or if you'd rather do it yourself, visit their retail store on Brownsbridge Road in Gainesville. Since 1993, Mark and his great staff have offered professional service, products, and advice to North Georgia. Visit them online at selectpest.net, or better yet, stop by Select Pest Control today and tell them Todd sent you.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
eBay has reinvented vehicle buying. From click to curb, everything's covered. Ever try to buy a car online and end up in a parking lot with a stranger and some blind trust? That era is over. Now with Secure Purchase, eBay isn't just where you find your car. It's where you buy it, start to finish. Title, financing, registration, delivery, it's all built in. This is the modern way to buy your next ride on eBay. eBay. Things people love. Secure Purchase is powered by Caramel Dealer Services, LLC, an eBay subsidiary.
WDUN Gainesville, WDUN FM Clarksville, Gainesville. Always here, always local.
It's 10 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. President Trump is about to land in Egypt after celebrating in Israel. I'm Dave Anthony.
The hostages are back. The hostages are back.
Addressing Israel's parliament after Hamas released the last 20 living hostages in the ceasefire he brokered.
Let me also convey my tremendous appreciation for all of the nations of the Arab and Muslim world that came together to press Hamas to set the hostages free.
And the president will meet with their world leaders and others from around the world at a peace summit in Egypt. As for Palestinians living in Gaza, left in ruins by the war Hamas's terror attack triggered,
this is their chance to turn forever from the path of terror and violence. It's been extreme, to exile the wicked forces of hate that are in their midst, and I think that's going to happen.
As for the freed hostages,
many of them are in hospital around Tel Aviv or on the way to those hospitals by helicopter. Initially, those hostages were under Hamas control. They were transferred from Hamas to members of the International Red Cross and then to Israeli Defense Forces.
Fox's Steve Harrigan also reports from Jerusalem.
Some disappointment when it comes to hostages not alive. Only 4 bodies recovered so far out of 28.
As part of the deal, Israel is also releasing nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners. The search for a gunman continues in South Carolina, where a mass shooting early yesterday at a bar on St. Helena Island left 4 people dead, 20 injured. For the 13th day in a row, most of the federal government is closed.
The hurt from the government shutdown intensifies this week. Workers off the job, services suspended, and now many federal employees will miss paychecks. Republicans believe that turns up the pressure on Democrats to cave.
Fox's Chad Pergam at the Capitol, where another Senate vote will be tomorrow. Democrats have refused to agree to a funding bill unless it includes health care provisions. America's listening to Fox News.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet Newsroom, I'm Steve Winslow, and 60 apartment complex residents are seeking shelter following a building fire early Sunday in Gwinnett County. WDUN's Logan Landers reports.
Fire and emergency crews for Gwinnett County responded to a report of an apartment fire after 2:45 a.m. at the 1700 block of Graves Road in Norcross. Officials say the 911 caller advised them that flames were coming from the top floor of an apartment's balcony. Cause for the fire has not been determined, but officials say there was extensive damage throughout the 3rd floor of the structure, with heavy smoke and water damage throughout lower floors.
No injuries were reported. 2 people seriously hurt from a Saturday wreck in Forsyth County. WDUN's Brian Perkle has details.
The City of Cumming Police Department reports that the wreck occurred along Georgia 400 between Mary Alice and Bald Ridge, south of Exit 15. Initial details indicate that a Ford F-150 rear-ended a Kia SUV, causing that vehicle to overturn in the middle of the roadway. The 2 occupants of the Kia apparently suffered head injuries and were transported to a local hospital. An investigation remains active. No charges have been filed as of last report.
A 17-year-old Augusta teen facing child cruelty charges for allegedly hitting his 11-year-old sister with a belt. Richmond County deputies say that Stanley Jamar Lomax Jr. was arrested for first-degree cruelty to children after his father told officials he had let his son in charge of 8 siblings while their mother left the home. They say video footage showed Lomax Jr. stomping on his sister's head, punching and beating her with a belt as she used her hands to shield herself. The AugustaPress.com reports Lomax Jr. claimed he disciplined his sister for disobedience and denied intentionally beating her. But according to the father, this is not the first time the sister has reported abuse by her brother. And 2 ministries are partnering to serve the homeless population in the Gainesville-Hall County area. WDUN's Lawson Smith reports.
Local ministries Good News at Noon and North Georgia Works are partnering to serve the homeless and at-risk individuals within the Gainesville-Hall County community. The Unity Project aims to establish a Tier 1 homeless shelter that provides efficient access to services through the agency's partnerships. As cold weather approaches, the Unity Project will renovate Good News at Noon's Set Free building located on Dorsey Street in Gainesville.
You'll find more news online at Access WDUN. Now here's your Access WDUN weather forecast.
A great Monday morning, North Georgia. Will continue with mostly sunny skies, and that means lots of sun glare. Upper 70s for highs this afternoon for your planning purposes. From the Access WDUN Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Holly Strano.
In Beaufort, 64 degrees. In Lula and Gainesville, 63. From North Georgia's News Talk, AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Hey, it's Chuck Dowdle, and I'm looking for 25 Super Dog fans to go with me May 6th to Iceland with Colette and Peach State Bank and Trust. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to teach them how to call the dogs in Icelandic. We're going to see massive glaciers that sculpt mountains and valleys. We're going to see thundering waterfalls and plunging fjords. We're going to walk on a black volcanic sand beach, relax in the warm, mineral-rich water of the Sky Lagoon. And Colette has us covered, from arranging the flights, meals, hotels, and all the local experiences, allowing us to simply enjoy the journey. So call Colette at 800-581-8942 or visit WDUNtravels.com to learn more.
Let me show you the world.
Presented by Colette, Peach State Bank and Trust, and WDUN. Go Dogs!
Talking about the issues that affect you most. It's the Martha Zoller Show, presented by Gainesville Mechanical. Now from the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville, here's Martha Zoller on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN. Always here, always local.
Oh, no, 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 no. It is not Martha Zoller. It is not. You might wish it were Martha Zoller. It is your old buddy and friend and pal. It is Dr. Tom Smiley with you on the Martha Zoller Show. Martha's away on assignment, as we say in radio. You know, Logan, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You can be on assignment. You can be on vacation. You can be sick with the flu. It doesn't matter. You're always on assignment if you're missing.
That's how it is, yeah. Where's he at today? He hasn't been seen in 2 days. Oh, he's on assignment.
He's on assignment.
He'll be back. He'll be good.
So, look, I've got so much to share with you. I've got, like I mentioned, my wife has been away at the state tennis tournament. I want to brag on her. It's where my sons and my grandchildren get their their athletic and their academic and their athletic acumen from. Is my wife from our side, and of course they've got lots of athletic and academic acumen from the other grandparents' side. But anyway, my wife is away at state tennis tournament. She and her partners, I believe it was Barbara and Mary. I'm not else who the other partners were. They won 3 out of 4 matches, so that's good. So I had lots of time at home by myself, watching football and so forth, and just doing show prep for Martha's show. All right, let's go. Before I go to this next story, which is very contemporary, and I have very much opinion about it. I know that surprises you. I want to share some text, because we get text, 770-535-2911. Send me a text if you want. If it's worthy, I'll read it. If it's not worthy, I won't read it. And I do get some texts that just aren't worthy. But these are, this comes from a 6634 number. I know for sure you are pleased with the hostage release. So very pleased to have our hostages home. But it is imperative, so very important, that you keep doing what you're doing today, keeping alive the story regarding these devil terrorists. I appreciate what you're saying, no matter how hard it is to hear it. We must hear it. Thank you. So I appreciate that. And I don't mean to be throwing cold water on the celebrative experience, on the celebrative atmosphere. But we must understand what these hostages endured. It's awful. There ought to be another word other than awful. You know, many times when something good happens to me, I say thank you. And oftentimes I say, you know, there needs to be another word other than thank you, because it just doesn't convey what I want to express. I wish I was a better wordsmith of the English language. And awful is just not enough. Here's another text. In regarding to a previous caller, he said, how come people didn't put yellow ribbons around like they did when the Iranians took our hostages? And this caller, last numbers 5008, said, how many yellow ribbons did the caller tie out? That's a good question. I should have asked that. I should have asked that to the caller when he called in a little while ago and complained about, nobody put yellow ribbons out this time. I should have asked, well, how many yellow ribbons did you put out? That's a great question. Gosh, you listeners are so smart. I wish I'd have thought about that. Logan, that's a great, I should have thought about that, Logan.
You know, anytime you leave a conversation, you always think of the one-liner after the fact, you know? That's how it always has been for me. It's just, how come I didn't say that? I missed out. Always comes to you after the fact.
How many did you put out? Anyway, the writer goes on, the texter goes on to say that the reason we didn't see a lot of yellow ribbons out is because they probably would have torn them down. Like they tore down pictures of the hostages at many of these hostage memorials. I agree with that. The texter goes on to say, God bless the USA and God bless Israel. Thank you so much. 770-535-2911 if you want to send me a text. Well, I know I've been a little fired up today. It doesn't matter. Listen, since I've retired, I've learned a new phrase. Since I've retired. You know what it is? Don't confuse me with somebody who cares. Listen, I'm happy you have your opinion. I'm very pleased you have your opinion. Doesn't bother me one bit that you have your opinion. I'm not even trying to convince you to take my opinion. I know that that's probably not going to happen. I hope that you'll consider my thoughts and opinions, but I know for the most part, many of you who call and text me who have a different opinion than me are not going to change your opinion. I get that. I get that. That's why I don't scream, holler, cuss, and fuss, because I realize that. It doesn't matter to me that you have a different opinion. Don't confuse me with somebody who cares about that. It doesn't matter. I'm happy to hear your opinion, but I'm not going to hear your opinion if it's not at least based on some factual aspects. I'm not just going to let you sit here and just talk about stuff, make stuff up like many of these Marxist socialist Democrats do. I mean, in regards to the government shutdown, my gosh almighty, I've been listening to stuff about I can't even listen to Akeem Jeffries or Chuck Schumer talk about the government shutdown because they're just lying. They're liars. I can't even watch it. I can't even listen to it because I know what they're saying is a lie. And people just buy it, hook, line, and sinker. Some of you listening just buy it. You say, oh, that's what Hakeem Jeffries said. All right, well, look, let me get on this show. So we have this Minnesota softball state high school tournament. And this Minnesota teenager, all her life as a little girl, she dreamed of playing for her state softball championship. And she got up to the finals. And she comes across another team that had a transgender player. Now, what this means is she came across another team that had a boy dressed up like a girl. And she said, this particular teenager, her name is Kendall, she said, I'll never forget the day that she stepped into the batter's box against this boy dressed up like a girl who was pitching. Now, I have refereed, I have umpired high school and college softball. I've been behind the plate. And I have seen high school and college softball pitchers, girls. And I can tell you how fast some of them can throw and the movement they can put on a ball. I mean, as an umpire, you have to be very, very disciplined to watch the ball and wait. Because if you call it too quick, you make a mistake. You have to wait. Because the way the ball moves up and down and side to side. Pay attention. And Kendall, this teenager, talks about stepping into the batter's box for the first time. Well, it's a shame we even have to talk about this today because years and years ago, Mr. Rogers explained to us that boys are boys and girls are girls, and yet we're having this conversation today. It doesn't make sense to me.
Boys are boys from the beginning. If you were born a boy, you stay a boy. Girls are girls right from the start. If you were born a girl, you stay a girl and grow up to be a lady. Everybody's fancy, everybody's fine. Your body's fancy, and so is mine. Only girls can be the mommies. Only boys can be the daddies. Yes, sir.
Well, there you go. Mr. Rogers had it. Correct. So I want you to listen to some of this. It's just about 2.5 minutes or 3 minutes long about this teenage girl who dreamed of playing softball in the state competition all of her life as a little girl. And before I was coaching high school and college, I would do the minor leagues, the under leagues, and I'd watch these little girls, these 10, 11, 12-year-old girls. They'd come to the ballpark with their bags and their bats and their gloves and their dreams. Listen to Kendall.
Private school, and my goal from day one was make it to the state tournament, play in the state tournament, and win it. And we had the team to do so. until we played Champlain Park, and you walk up to the field and you see a biological male in the circle and hitting, and your dreams are just crushed. Like, all hope and all sense of excitement is kind of downplayed because now no one cares about you. All they care about is this biological male that's coming in and taking away from what the state tournament was supposed to be. So before the season, we knew that this athlete was transgender, and the hope was that some team would be able to beat them. And then the season starts progressing, and they're just winning and winning and winning every game. And you see these videos of this athlete just striking everyone out, hitting incredibly. So that was hard. And then we get to the state tournament, and we actually upset the number 3 seed. So we weren't even supposed to make it to play them. And then we upset the 3 seed, ended up winning. And so then later we get to the game, and it's kind of building up. No one's really talking about it because it's one of those things that it's like, what's someone else going to say if you talk about it? I was extremely upset. I was talking to my parents beforehand. I didn't want to play in the game originally. But in the back of my mind, it felt like I was letting myself, my team, and my family down because this was one of the last times that they would be able to see me play for my high school and in the state of Minnesota, because I do go to college in Michigan now. It hurts in a lot more ways than you can ever understand. It hurts in almost feeling like there's no sense of hope in winning the game, and no matter what's going to happen, they will have the upper hand. And so it's incredibly heartbreaking. And I'm a catcher, so I have seen movement pitches, but when your hands are bigger than a biological female at that age, and in Minnesota especially, you're spinning the ball 10 times more. And I would actually say that this athlete wasn't on their best game that day, but even at half their best, they're still blowing it past us, spinning the ball more, making it so we can't hit. This athlete did hit a double that scored runs to tie us up. And it almost looked like it was a half swing. Like, this athlete was not swinging to the full potential, and the ball was still being hit extremely hard. And it was hard to call pitches because it seemed like every pitch I called, this athlete could hit. It didn't matter what pitch I threw, they were going to make contact and hit that ball. We got walked off in the bottom of the 7th inning. And I'm not a very emotional person. And the minute that game ended, I was sobbing to the point where I honestly wanted to just leave right away. I did not want to do anything else. I wanted to pack my stuff up and get out of there because I was so heartbroken and so upset that I couldn't even process what just happened. It was, as I said earlier, it was a hurt like no other. I couldn't even process what was going on because how do you acknowledge that you just lost to a biological male?
How in the world did we get there? Did we get here? I don't understand it. I don't care whether you are liberal or conservative or woke or red or white or purple or green or blue. I just throw all that aside and just tell me. Just explain to me how you, in good conscience and common sense, think that it's even logical to let a boy dress up like a girl and play in their sports programming. I don't get it. I mean, listen, we'll take a break, and then I'm going to tell you this before we take a break. As an umpire in college, in high school softball, I can tell you, biologically speaking, boys' hands are bigger than girls. And when a girl steps on that mound, the size of her hands determines a lot in the spin she puts on the ball. And when you have a boy up there dressed up like a girl with larger hands, there is more spin that can be placed on that ball, and it is unhittable, and it's unfair. It just is unfair. Can we please not have some common sense? We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're listening to The Martha Zoller Show. I am Tom Smiley.
Fuel our discussions with your opinions.
We need to talk about common sense here.
We're the station that gives you a voice.
It's my local station.
We're North Georgia's News Talk, AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Talking with Haley from Clipper, and Haley, every time I go into a Clipper, I feel very welcome. The staff is so welcoming, but you've also gone a step further, especially with your new store in Flowery Branch. Tell us about it.
We want to make sure that anybody who comes into our store is welcome and has all the facilities that they need. So we have installed adult changing tables so that anybody who needs that can use it while they're traveling.
Always innovating at Clipper, always looking out for you, the customer. Check them out. The new store there in Flowery Branch, exit 14. Clipper, never fly solo.
Waste Eliminator is a full-service waste management company providing critical disposal, recycling, and environmental solutions for business and residential clients. From large-scale commercial projects to smaller residential cleanups, Waste Eliminator offers reliable dumpster rental service tailored to your needs. Whether you're tackling a renovation, new construction, or even a simple home cleanout, Waste Eliminator will manage the waste efficiently and sustainably. Visit online at wasteeliminator.com.
Fall in and save big at Krause Family Hyundai. This fall, drive a new Hyundai Santa Fe with as low as 0% APR financing, or lease a new Hyundai for as little as $239 a month. And every new Hyundai comes with America's best warranty, a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty and Hyundai Assurance. With hundreds of new Hyundais to choose from, you can get it all this fall. Visit KrauseFamilyHyundai.com for full details and see us on Atlanta Highway exit 16 off 985.
Have you ever been at your wit's end over conflict? Hi, this is Whit Martin, pastor of Asbury Chapel. You may have heard it said, misery loves company. But what if we were able to leave misery alone and join company that brings joy and peace? I'm talking about company that is family, the family of God. The Bible says in Matthew 5:9, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God." God's children make peace by first introducing others to God, the Father of this joyful family called the church, and then by bringing peace to those around them. Just as God made peace with sinners so that they can know and have salvation, so God's children are about the same business. What a world this can be if we will be about the business of making peace. And that is Wit's End. Asbury Chapel invites you to learn more by joining us for worship at 758 Main Street on Sundays at 10 a.m. Visit asburychapel.net for more.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet Newsroom, two ministries are partnering to serve the homeless population in the Gainesville-Hall County area. Details at Access WDUN. And coming up on North Georgia's News Talk.
Use the Access WDUN Talk and Text line, presented by M&R Rental at 770-535-2911, and be part of the conversation. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville, it's the Martha Zoller Show on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
All right, welcome back to the Martha Zoller Show. Tom Smiley filling in for Martha. And I have the doors barricaded and the windows blackened and everything's locked because I don't want management to come in and give me the proverbial hook, drag me out of here, and let someone else fill in for the fill-in. Right now I can see them out there through a glimmer of a hole. I can see them fixing my star on my parking spot there, Logan.
Oh, dude. Okay, yeah.
They're putting the star back on my parking spot. The star had fallen off. I had 3 stars on my parking space, and one of them had fallen off. Please get that fixed. And we're in management. I know you're listening. Management. Please get me some oatmeal cream pies because my doctor said I should eat more oatmeal, and I'm trying to be health conscious and do what he says. Here's a text from one of our listeners, Henry. If you sign your name, I use your name. If you don't sign your name, I'll just use the last 4 numbers of your number. But Henry says regarding a previous caller whose name I won't use. I don't like to use people's names that aren't able to defend themselves. So he says, "Hey, your previous caller says it's war when his side is doing the killing, but when you say it's war, he says that's genocide. Sounds like to me he's mad that his side lost and the wrong people got killed. I'm wondering, would he fight this hard if the Jews had been the ones that got annihilated? Thank you, Henry. That's a good word. I should have thought about that. I wish you people would text me your thoughts before they happened. Because two good thoughts. I've got to remember this stuff, Logan. All right. I'm going to do something. If you're watching on the, what's this called? The live feed, go to YouTube and click on Access WDUN, scroll down just a tad or two, you'll come to a little camera thing, and click on that, and you can see the Martha Zoller Show live and in person. And I have my little props up here. I have 3 hats. They all are related to stories. I'm going to put on one of my props now. Are you ready? I'm putting on my...
I take the headphones out the way. Oh, there we go. Looking good.
So
I'll
I've got my
zoom in
prop
here.
on, my red Magna hat, because I've got to do this story. This story, I'm only wearing it because it's a prop. I got 1 minute. This is about a 17-second audio. This is someone who is very supportive of Magna. You wouldn't believe it. Listen to this and see if you can recognize the voice.
I believe that together we can make America great again. To secure a better future for your children and your grandchildren, and to make America great again.
I want to attack these problems and make America great again.
It's time for another comeback. Time to make America great again.
Who was that? That was your friend, to know him and to love him, Bill Clinton. He was talking about making America great again. Nobody criticized him. Nobody criticized him for making America great again. I just wanted to have some fun with that. Those of you watching the feed, now you're going to spread all around town that Dr. Tom was walking around wearing a MAGA hat. Well, keep in mind, I was wearing the MAGA hat to introduce the story that Bill Clinton was talking about making America great again. That's right. Your friend and my friend, know him as I love him, Bill Clinton. He started the MAGA movement. He said, we must make America great. We'll be right back. Tom Smiley filling in for Martha Zoller. Don't go away.
Some car dealers want to sell you a car. At Hardy Chevrolet, we'd rather help you find the vehicle that's right for you. This is Mike Cormier. We call it the Hardy Chevrolet difference. Since you're the one who will be in the driver's seat of that new Chevy, we think you should be in the driver's seat when it comes to making the selection. It's like Charles Hardy always said.
We love you and we need you.
Together, let's drive. At Hardy Chevrolet, Browns Bridge Road in Gainesville, online at hardychevrolet.com.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion? That's billion with a B? Yeah. Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words Micro. That's pound 250, Micro.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Tune in to 2 hours of local football fun with the Pick'em Show, coach interviews, game previews, and general mayhem. So join Bo, Caleb, Jeff, and Walker Thursday night at 6 on AM 550 and FM 102.9, or video stream them on YouTube at Access WDUN Sports. WDUN Gainesville, WDUN FM Clarksville, Gainesville. Always here, always local.
It's 10:30.
This is a Fox News Alert. I'm CJ Papa. President Trump traveling to Egypt to meet with 20 world leaders to continue his call for a lasting peace in the Middle East. Earlier, he spoke to Israel's parliament, delivering this message to the Palestinians.
After tremendous pain and death and hardship, now is the time to concentrate on building their people up instead of trying to tear Israel down. We don't want that to happen again.
Fox's Steve Harrigan in Tel Aviv.
All 20 hostages now free. Many of them are in hospital around Tel Aviv or on the way to those hospitals. Some disappointment when it comes to hostages not alive. Only 4 bodies recovered so far out of 28.
The president's speech disrupted by 2 Israeli lawmakers from left parties removed from the hall for holding signs reading genocide. America's listening to Fox News.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet Newsroom, 60 apartment complex residents in Gwinnett County are seeking shelter following a building fire Sunday. WDUN's Logan Landers reports.
Fire and emergency crews for Gwinnett County responded to a report of an apartment fire after 2:45 a.m. at the 1700 block of Graves Road in Norcross. Officials say the 911 caller advised them that flames were coming from the top floor of an apartment's balcony.
Cause for the fire has not been determined. No injuries were reported. City of Cumming Police Department investigating a Saturday afternoon wreck along the Georgia 400 area between Mary Alice and Baldridge, south of exit 15. According to the City of Cummings Police, an initial investigation found a Ford F-150 rear-ended a Kia SUV, causing the Kia to overturn. Both occupants of the Kia reportedly sustained serious injuries. The Ford F-150 occupant had minor injuries. Names have not been released. And more home sales are being canceled in Atlanta than anywhere else in the country. A report from Redfin shows the cancellation rose to 21% of a rate in August, 6 points above the national average, higher than in any other region. Chief economist for the real estate company says many deals are falling through during inspections. You'll find more news and details by going online at Access WDUN. Now here's your look at your Access WDUN forecast from meteorologist Holly Strano.
A great Monday morning, North Georgia. We'll continue with mostly sunny skies, and that means lots of sun glare. Upper 70s for highs this afternoon for your planning purposes. From the Access WDUN Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Holly Strano.
In Brazelton, 68 degrees. In Clarksville, 63. And in Gainesville, 64. From North Georgia's News Talk, AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Hey there, it's Cody Lovin, owner of Crawl Space Medic. Is your crawl space giving you trouble? Maybe it's moisture, structural issues, or even foul odors? Don't worry, my team and I, we've seen it all. At Crawl Space Medic, we specialize in crawl space repairs, encapsulations, and basement waterproofing, ensuring your home's foundation stays solid and protected. We're all about delivering top-notch service you can trust with solutions that last. Give me a call at 706-410-2400 or visit crawlspacemedic.com for a free evaluation.
It's Mike Robertson of Oakwood Tire and More. As our name suggests, we can handle all your tire needs, but some have asked what we mean when we say and more. At Oakwood Tire, we're more than just tires. We also handle general repair, we handle alignments, brakes, AC service, suspension work. Speaking of suspension work, if you're looking to upgrade your ride, we can put tires, wheels, lift kit, anything like that on there. See us at www.oakwoodtire.com. Stop by at 3120 Atlanta Highway, where we're more than just tires.
It's the Martha Zoller Show, presented by Gainesville Mechanical, from the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Welcome back to the Martha Zoller Show. I am Tom Smiley, filling in for Martha. And two of my favorite guests who really represents just what's good about our community. And I'm talking about the Dementia Coalition. And these folks and their team represent us so well, and they present such a wonderful service to our community. And I'm talking about Bill Whittle and Cloud Conrad, who really lead us well in our area when it comes to dementia, understanding dementia, Alzheimer's, that whole scene. And so I wanted them to come back because last month they had a really good conference at Lakewood Baptist Church, packed the place out, sold out tickets, several speakers, a lot of outbreak groups, just a wonderful, wonderful conference. So let's start there Bill and our Cloud, and just tell us about that day, how it went, and your observations of this most recent conference.
Well, good morning, Tom, and thank you for having us here today. Yes, we're just coming off a very successful...
on Cloud 9.
On Cloud 9.
Wow. No pun intended. Okay, go ahead. I'm
nice.
sorry. I just couldn't pass that up.
Boy. Thank you. But this is our second symposium, and you always learn from the first time you do something. And this year, it just came off like clockwork. And the best way to describe it is the energy level that was there was higher this year because of the speakers that we had, the information that was shared to the public, and thanks to Cloud for helping to coordinate that as our program development director.
So Cloud, who were the speakers first, and then who were the attendees? Were they a great spectrum of different people, or just one group? Tell us about the speakers and the attendees.
Thank you, Tom. It's good to be here. We started off hearing from a person with dementia in the keynote, and his wife, and talking about dementia from the inside out, what it's like to live with a disease that we were focused on for the full day. And we also included, it was a panel discussion, Ken, his wife Carol, Dr. Angela Ritter, who's from the Center of Advanced Research and Education, and Dr. Tyler Smiley. So we heard from the individual, and we heard from the individual's clinician, and we heard from his clergy person. That was a really nice way to kick off the day. And then we had 16 speakers who, interestingly enough, were all women. I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah.
I just noticed that posting the pictures on our website, who ranged from speaking about hospice care to dementia research, to the spiritual aspects of caregiving itself, and everything in between. We also heard from experts who told us about Lewy body dementia and vascular dementia and frontotemporal dementia as well. So it was really a well-rounded span of topics, all focused on dementia. Primarily caregivers were there, Tom, but we also had clinicians there, doctors. We had just friends of the community, interested parties, and folks that might be a little bit wondering if what they're noticing in themselves or say their spouse was anything related to dementia. So it's really a good day.
Cloud and Bill, there's some fear sometimes that people feel in there. They just are fearful about this disease. It creates fear and anxiety in people, doesn't it?
It does. And the worst thing is that the earliest signs are the signs of normal aging.
Yeah.
And so everyone's concerned about their senior moments. And I get that so many times when I do talks about what dementia looks like. Everyone is concerned, and most everybody, breathes a sigh of relief at the end of the talk, realizing, okay, what I just did or what I noticed in my wife, that's normal. This is supposed to be happening.
Now, you had breakout groups, right?
Yeah.
We did.
And tell me about those breakout groups.
Well, the breakout groups were different speakers that would address the topics at
So people got to choose the groups they wanted to go to. Wow, that's so cool.
And one of those was a virtual dementia tour.
Yes.
That you could take, and it's a simulation what it feels like to have dementia.
Yeah, I went through that. You brought that by the church,
Sure
and
did.
Tyler and I actually went through that, and we did all the paraphernalia, and I won't give away the secrets, but what an eye-opener when you think about what people suffering through this have to experience. I mean, it makes you aware and also makes you a little more empathetic, and
yes.
You both know that tempers can be short sometimes, especially when you deal with this day in and day out as a caregiver. And this kind of helps remind us, look, I'm just going to have to be more understanding and patient.
That's so right. The symptoms of dementia can be very frustrating for caregivers. And when you see it from the inside out, it makes you stop and pause and take a breath and realize my loved one can't help what they're doing. They're not trying to be difficult. They're not trying to aggravate me.
Yeah.
And it's a huge illumination, and probably the most important dementia education there could ever be, frankly.
Now, Bill and Cloud represent Dementia Coalition. Tell us your website.
Beyond Dementia Coalition. And it's beyonddementiacoalition.org is our website.
Okay, beyonddementiacoalition.org.
Correct.
Please look that up, ladies and gentlemen, and bookmark that, because there's some wonderful opportunity for you to catch up on some stuff and to get some information about stuff. All right, let's fast forward to what's coming up next, Bill? You were talking about a virtual tour at the interactive...
Virtual Dementia Tour is going to be at Interactive Neighborhood for Kids in Oakwood, the new location.
And who's that for? Who's that for?
And that's going to be for those who were not able to go through the Virtual Dementia Tour at the symposium and the general public.
Okay.
So we're going to be having registration sign up pretty soon.
Through the website? Sign up through the website?
By the end of the week.
Okay.
By the end of the week.
And when is that?
November 11th.
Okay, November the 11th. And so they sign up through the website.
Correct.
Okay. And any cost to that?
No cost.
Okay.
Just come.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, folks, the same thing I did? That same thing I did?
Same thing you did.
Okay, so I'm telling you, folks, it is well worth it.
And let me just say this, because I was a caregiver for 7 years, and I was 4 years a caregiver before I took the Virtual Dementia Tour, and it gave me a totally different understanding and a dimension of caregiving and appreciation. Made me a better caregiver.
Yeah. So what's next? I know you have this coming up, but another symposium coming up next September.
Another symposium coming up next September. In the meantime, we'll be providing dementia caregiver classes. We offer a support group. We are also very excited to share one of our latest ventures, Dementia Air Network, which is the accessibility play, if you will, for the community outside of Gainesville and Hall County. We think that because dementia is just the prevalence of dementia is doubling quickly, and that's a really frightening proposition. So we feel that it's very important for the information that we're offering the community be accessible to the entire community in a way that you don't have to get in your car or get on the bus to come learn about dementia. So Dementia Air Network includes a podcast, a blog, a newsletter. It's a way to reach the far corners of Northeast Georgia and beyond.
Mm-hmm. And I may mention that several of the speakers that were at the symposium, the podcasts are all Dementia Air now, so they can...
and how do they access that? Can they go to your website?
Go to the website.
Yes, up at the top, there's the navigation bar. In the middle of the navigation bar, it says Dementia Air. And if you click on that, then you could be able to access all the information that we're offering.
Beyond Dementia Coalition.org. Okay.
/dementia-air.
Now, Cloud, I'm glad you brought that up because you do other things throughout the year. You mentioned the support groups. Can talk to us about that, because folks listening right now say, God, I didn't know about the symposium. I missed that, but I need help. I mean, where do they start? Where can they start? Somebody listening right now, they're just tuning in. They need help. Where do they start as far as your group is concerned?
We are looking at offering a public support group as soon as we possibly can. We have a private one in Crestwood Community. I guess folks should email me and let me know of their interest. In order to participate in a caregiver support group, you must be an active caregiver for someone living with dementia.
Okay.
Beyond that, there's just some rules of the road about how we behave with each other in a support group setting. But there's really no restrictions other than being a current caregiver for someone with dementia.
Okay, can you share your email?
Yes, they can email me at cloud@beyonddementiacoalition.org. We'll do a little intake interview, 15 minutes, just to understand the situation. Right now, we don't have that support group, but as I said, we would really like to get that propped up as soon as possible. So all interested parties, please contact me, and we will figure out how to move forward.
Okay. Bill, do you want to talk about what you told me about the other day, the Alzheimer's thing that you were asked to join? Or
the advocacy.
Yeah, is that appropriate to talk about?
Absolutely, love to discuss.
I was trying to disguise that in case you didn't want to talk about it.
No, thank you.
I'm very proud of you for that. I mean, I'm like a very proud father.
You are.
No, I appreciate that. The Alzheimer's Association has an advocacy group that helps support legislation for those, about the dementia cause. And so I was invited to join a session last month to get an understanding of its mission and where it's going. And I'll also be attending this month a session down in Atlanta to see how we can get engaged Beyond Dementia Coalition in supporting that legislative effort.
So this has got to be a subject that is across the board. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat, a Republican,
That's
a
right.
Libertarian, it's black or white or purple. I mean, there's no reason that we all can't get together on this particular topic.
That's right. This is a plaid topic. It's not red. It's not blue.
Yeah.
It is plaid.
So one of my biggest interests as being a veteran is how do we support veterans that have dementia? What's happening in the VA hospitals? Don't know. But where we can take our mission Beyond Dementia Coalition and look at different groups and cultures of society, veterans, I think, probably needs some attention there.
Yeah. We'll take a quick break, Logan, for just a minute or two, and we'll get you come back for just a minute or two to wrap up. You're listening to the Martha Zoller Show. I am Tom Smiley. Get Cloud Conrad and Bill Whittle in with us with the BeyondDementiaCoalition.org. Look that up. Bookmark it right now. We'll let them come back for just a moment and wrap up, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Todd Starnes.
But if you want to talk about problems, talk about Joe Biden, who literally funded Iran's nuclear program.
It's the Todd Starnes Show, weekdays noon till 3 on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Rise and shine with M&R Equipment and Rental. Your project success is our first job of the day. Whether it's landscaping, construction, or home renovation, we've got your back with our wide range of high-quality tools and equipment. We make starting your day easy. Simply pick your tool, choose your rental period, and get down to business. No job is too big or small. From saws to skid steers, we've got you covered and at prices that won't break your budget. Visit us at mnrrental.com. We're here to help you build a brighter tomorrow.
Fall in Georgia is here. Cooler days, changing leaves, and plenty of outdoor projects. At Howard Brothers, they've got everything you need to tackle the season. From mowers and blowers to grills and gear, Howard's is your one-stop shop for work and play. Need parts or service? Their team is ready to serve you and keep your equipment running strong every season. This fall, make the most of your yard, your home, and your time with the trusted folks at Howard Brothers, proudly serving their communities for 70 years and counting.
When you have a problem with your roof, you want someone who can respond quickly, but also who knows roofing. That's what you get at Georgia Select Roofing. This is Chris Earls, and we do roofing right. Estimates are free, we can help you navigate your insurance claim, and we also offer financing. Check out our Google reviews, and you'll see that Georgia Select Roofing offers the best service around. See us today at GeorgiaSelectRoofing.com or call us at 678-316-6899. Family owned and operated, Georgia Select Roofing has you covered.
Whether it's a slip that ends in a slip disc, a trick knee that's holding you back, or shoulder pain hurting your game, you can count on Northside Hospital Orthopedics. With leading care in Georgia at convenient locations all across the state, we're here to get you back on your feet, no matter what comes your way. Because Georgia moves us, and we keep Georgia moving. Find a provider near you at northside.com/ortho. That's northside.com/ORTHO.
It seems like every day we're upgrading our smart devices. When was the last time you updated your eyes? Hi, this is Kim at Advanced Eye Center. Dr. Ackerman and Dr. Evans have more than 35 years combined experience. See why we're voted best in Hall County. Choose custom all-laser LASIK or specialty lenses with laser cataract surgery. At Advanced Eye Center in Gainesville, we have a choice that is right for you. Advanced Eye Center, vision correction for all ages.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet Newsroom, 3 commuters are injured, 2 seriously from a wreck on Georgia 400 in Forsyth County Saturday. Details at Access WDUN. And coming up on North Georgia's News Talk.
Use the Access WDUN talk and text line, presented by M&R Rental at 770-535-2911, and be part of the conversation. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville, it's the Martha Zoller Show on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Welcome back. You're listening to Tom Smiley on the Martha Zoller Show. So happy to have you. We're wrapping up with Bill Whittle and Cloud Conrad regarding the BeyondDementiaCoalition.org. That's the website, Beyond Dementia Coalition. Wonderful work. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a jewel within our community. Not every community has this. And I'm so proud of Bill and Cloud and all of their staff and their board. They have a wonderful board. They've got great contributors, some very generous donors who make all of this possible. So very proud of y'all. Y'all really are doing well. I mean, like Bill could be like me and like play golf 5 days a week. But instead, he's doing something constructive with his time and his life. And I'm proud of you, Bill, for doing that. You work a little harder, and I'll feel better.
Well, thank you, Tom. If it wasn't for back surgery, I would be playing golf.
But as we close up here, anything you want to say, just to challenge the people, to invite the people, anything you want to do, anything you want to say as we kind of conclude our time here real quick?
I would say that as we look at the expansions that we're planning for next year in our strategic planning process, we are going to be calling on volunteers more so than we have so far. And we would like to invite anyone who's interested in helping our cause to email Stacy at beyonddementiacoalition.org to let her know. She will be the one managing our volunteers. So think about that. If you're not inclined in volunteering, we are a nonprofit, and donations are tax deductible. So there are lots of ways you can get involved with us.
So I'd just like to close by saying, going back to the point you made earlier about fear, lack of knowledge is fear.
Yeah.
We're all about removing that fear.
Yeah. BeyondDementiaCoalition.org. Ladies and gentlemen, look that up, bookmark it, and be sure to contact them. And we'll have you back again very soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you so
for
much.
being with
It's
us.
great to be here.
All right. Well, you're listening to the Martha Zoller Show. I am Tom Smiley. I want to close out this segment. I brought in something from Bill Maher. Is that how you say his name, Logan? Bill Maher? That's the comedian wannabe?
That is correct. Yep, that's how you pronounce it.
He's not real funny to me. But he did say something I want to close out the show with, because he talked about why Democrats probably won't win again. And it's very good. Now, I think he does use a word that he shouldn't use. I don't know if they beeped it out or not, but it's not really a bad word, but I wouldn't use it. But it really is very good. And this is among the many reasons why the Democrats probably won't win again unless they change their ways. But just listen to this, and then you can text me or tell me your thoughts, and we'll talk about it some more tomorrow. But listen to this for a moment.
Liberals are insane, but neither do they make it clear they disapprove of the ones who are. And their cowardice in not marginalizing their own crazies has been their downfall. I couldn't get Neil deGrasse Tyson, a genius scientist and preeminent scientific voice in the media, to agree that it was ridiculous for Scientific American and The Atlantic to be claiming that separating sports by sex doesn't make sense. Yes, it does. Actually, it makes perfect sense. And it's obvious that it does. And there's a lot of stuff like that on the left. And when conservatives see it, they say, I'm sorry, we're just not going to go along with reinventing society, often pointlessly, even if we have to cancel democracy to do it. That's what they're saying. They see gender as only a construct and sex is assigned at birth, and they say, we're not doing that. Transing kids by self-diagnosis with no age limit, no parental notification, and no acknowledgement of social contagion, not doing it. Asylum now covers any reason for anyone to come to America, not doing it. Homelessness is a lifestyle. Natural immunity doesn't count anymore. Whiteness is toxic. Penises in women's prisons. Welcoming the Intifada. We're not doing it. And so, folks, if we are ever going to get back to the old America, that's got to be the Democrats' part of the bargain. Stop coming up with radically new and often terrible ideas, and then in the next breath insist there be no debate about any of it. That if you don't see it right away and go along, you're bad, stupid, and deplorable. As if you were saying, duh, 2 + 2 = 5. Isn't that obvious? Yeah, it's obvious you can't add. You can't just say shit. Math is racist. Queers for Palestine. Looting is cool. Healthy at any weight? If the men's football team played the women's team, it would be a tie. You can't just say shit. I mean, you can, but it doesn't make it true because you're not Harry Potter.
Now, what I want to see happen now is I want to see all those people who applaud that vote that way. Bill Maher is correct. You can't carry on like the Democratic Party is carrying on. You can't do that. We've had enough of that. We're tired of that. We're done with that. It's not common sense. It's not reasonable. We're tired of the violence. We're tired of the destruction. We're tired of the rioting. We're tired of the confusion. We want peace. We want calm. We want economic growth. That's what we want. And Bill Maher is correct. Now, I want to see people who were applauding all of those things, I want to see them go vote for those things or vote against those things. But they won't. They probably won't. But that's why the Democratic Party may not win anymore, because they don't have anything except we hate Trump. And we're against everything Trump is for. I just want to see, can you tell me something that the Democrats are for policy-wise that is reasonable, that might get them elected, okay? They seem to be for men dressing up like women and playing in women's sports, all right? If that's their policy, is that going to get them elected? Well, I don't know that it's their policy, because they won't advocate for it. They won't admit it. And tomorrow I'll share with you that the governor's race in Virginia, Sears, and the other lady, the Democratic lady, wouldn't even acknowledge that she is not for men dressing up like women and playing in girls' sports. Wouldn't even say yay or nay to that. So is that her policy, or is it not her policy? And sex changes for children regardless of their age? Is that your policy? Well, if that's your policy, admit it, and let's see if you can get elected on it. It must be, because you never are opposed to it. In immigration, is it your policy to have open borders? Is that your policy? Because it seems like it is, but you won't just come out and admit it. I mean, but go ahead and state it and see if that can get you elected. Bill Maher is correct, and we may play that again tomorrow, because I don't know that you heard that well enough. And so maybe we'll open up with that same quote tomorrow, that same soundbite. Sorry for the couple of words got beeped out. You did a good job, Logan, beeping that out. Thank you. All right, I'm Tom Smiley, filling in for Martha. I'll be back tomorrow with my props. Listen to me. I hope you will. We'll be right back tomorrow. Stay tuned. More good programming coming your way on WDUN. Take care.